The Yankees have not beaten the Oakland Athletics for 15 consecutive games. They were 0-12 against them last year, dropped last night's game 7-3, and this afternoon face Mike Moore, who just 2 years ago was a 19-game winner with Oakland. Last year, while his club won 103 games, he slipped to 13-15. But he is off to a good start this year, 3-0 with an earned run average of 2.52. And here is the Yankee lineup he will face. Roberto Kelly again leading off, followed by Steve Sachs. Don Mattingly is the DH. At first, hitting cleanup is Kevin Moss. Mel Hall in right. Matt Noakes doing the catching. Hensley Mullins in left. Randy Velarde in the lineup at third, hitting eighth. And Alvaro Espinosa, the shortstop, batting ninth. The defensive alignment for Oakland. Round the infield, Riles and Weiss left side. Right side, Gallego and McGuire. Rickey Henderson, Dave Henderson, and Jose Canseco left, center, and right. Jerry Steinbach does the catching.
And Dwayne, I think that overlooked defense, because of all the power and all of the terrific individual performance on this club, is overlooked. And I think it probably shows up in the fast start Mike Moore had. He's had a lot of base runners. You saw the walk total, the base hits, innings pitched, and yet they catch the ball so well and turn the double play. It's allowed them to have a 3-0 record and also to have a very low ERA for that many base runners.
And here is Roberto Kelly. Roberto opened the game last night with a base hit and takes the first pitch for a strike. Durwood Merrill calls the balls and strikes. Tim McClellan first. Don Dinkinger, the crew chief, at second. Gary Cederstrom, who worked the plate last night, is down at third. Foul ball. The bat winds up out near the mound as the ball is foul up the third base side.
Mike Moore has great raw stuff. He had it up in Seattle, pitching in a tough ballpark. This is a much better park for him, coming off an off year. It's a good fastball that he'll throw sometimes 90. Great slider, and that forkball you just saw.
Kelly, since going into that leadoff spot, has responded quite well. 333. There's no question with his improved patience, he is a better leadoff hitter than he was a year ago. Far from the ideal leadoff man, but he's more patient this year. A ball and 2 strikes.
Stump Merrill trying to snap a 15-game losing streak against the Oakland Athletics. None of the players feel it's embarrassing.
Strike call on the inside corner. Kelly caught looking to start this one. That's the 17th strikeout of the year in just over 25 innings for Mike Moore. Tony La Russa.
Just had Bill Rigney, one of the executives and former manager. He said, you know, La Russa is so thorough and he never stops learning. He said, almost every day when I'm at the ballpark, La Russa comes to me, talking about Rigney, and asks about a play situation. What would you have done? It's a constant learning process for Tony.
Steve Sachs takes the ball.
And on the other hand, I think that's very important for Stump Merrill. If he wants longevity in the managerial ranks, he's going to have to keep learning and not stay at the present level of managerial expertise that he possesses now.
2-0 the count. La Russa very honest, not only with those around him, but with himself when he evaluates his club and what worked and what did not work for them. I thought it was very interesting, some of the things he's had to say about his club's success and lack of success in World Series competition. Sachs has a count of 3-0. You know, the A's are having some problems this year keeping people healthy. And when you look at the year 2 years ago when they won it all, there is a ball. And Sachs walks on 4 pitches. So the Yankees have a base runner. They had to overcome some adversity. Felt a little more challenged perhaps in the League Championship Series and the World Series when they finally won it.
Tony La Russa has seen his team this year win 9 of their 10 ball games played in the Oakland Alameda Coliseum, taking advantage of the home park.
Here's Don Mattingly. Sachs over there. You were able to touch on it a moment, Tony, with La Russa about the pressure aspect and not only of Tony La Russa trying to keep the pressure on his club, he thinks this is a much better team when circumstances dictate that there's more pressure on it.
Well, as long as he maintains the focus, which he always has, is the most important thing in that individual performance. Mine or yours, boys. It's the 162 game schedule and this pitch and this game right now. And he's very consistent in that. Will accept nothing less.
Mattingly taps this one foul. He's behind in the count.
You know, I think
Tony in two.
Dwayne, I think Tony La Russa dispels the notion that you can no longer, with the quote-unquote modern-day ball player, the high salaries, the contractual disputes, you can no longer be a tough disciplinarian. You know, they said, what would Lombardi have done if he had coached or managed now? Well, he'd have done the same thing he always did with the old Green Bay Packers. And La Russa is that way. His primary concern is winning. Gone.
There goes Sachs. The throw will not be in time. He got a good jump and steals his 4th base of the year. Sachs is perfect in that department this year. So the count on Mattingly is a ball, 2 strikes.
Steinbach gets rid of it in a hurry. Sachs with an excellent jump. Weiss knew there was going to be no contest. He just keeps the ball from going into center field. Excellent jump off Mike Moore.
So the Yankees have a man in scoring position in the first. And Mattingly hits it off Moore's glove, deflected out to Gallego. Very close at first. Safe over there. And Sachs will go to third. That's a base hit for Mattingly, putting men at first and third with only 1 out.
Not only did Mike Moore slow it down from maybe going into center field, but because Mattingly was fooled on the pitch, watch how far out in front he is, and swinging and running at the same time because he was so far out in front, gave him an extra couple of steps out of the batter's box. We just saw the advantage of a left-handed hitter, and those couple extra steps going to first base holds true in that case.
So the Yankees have an opportunity to strike early again in this game. They scored twice last night, only to see Oakland come back and post a 7-3 win. Now Kevin Moss. Strike on the outer part of the plate.
Gary Cederstrom gave that pitch to Welch yesterday on Moss when he called him out on strikes. Right near the edge on the corner. Mike Moore will test Durwood Merrill again, maybe, to see if he'll give it to him again, even farther outside.
Well, the count to Kevin Moss is a ball and a strike.
Durwood Merrill, the home plate umpire, a little unique as we look at Sachs at third. Don Mattingly at first, held by McGuire, but inside protector everybody uses now, but Durwood stays right over the center of the catcher, not on the inside shoulder as most other umpires do in each league.
He stays away and misses out there. 2 balls and a strike. Moss, the cleanup hitter. He's been the one constant in this Yankee lineup in that number 4 spot.
Somewhat testy group of Yankees as you're around the dugout and batting cage today. Very short night's sleep, heading for the off day tomorrow up to Seattle. Don't like with what's happening on this road trip thus far.
Kevin takes ball 3, so he's out in front.
You get the feeling that if the situation continues as is with the Yankees, that Gene Michael may be thinking more than a minor trade. Maybe one way to get this team on the beam, not necessarily winning or losing, but to shake up the roster. Valuable commodities would be a Barfield and a Sachs, and maybe a pitcher out of the bullpen.
A 3-1 count. And Moss walks to load the bases. So the Yankees have a great opportunity in the first. They're loaded with Mel Hall coming up, and Matt Noakes behind him.
Well, as the statistics on Moore showed you when he was taking his warm-up tosses, that has been somewhat of his Achilles heel. The bases on balls and a lot of base runners so far this season, but it has not come back to bite him on the heel. He basically, with the defense, has been able to pitch out of it.
Hall hitting just 176 with a home run and 8 runs batted in, however.
Yeah, that 8 runs for the number of at-bats he has is a pretty high total with that kind of batting average.
He's been in and out of this lineup. He drives one into right center field. Canseco going back just in front of the track to make the catch. Sacks, tags, and will score. Mattingly's going to go to third, and the Yankees going to run on the sacrifice fly to right by Mel Hall.
Like last night when Hall pinch hit and drove the ball deeply to right center field off Steve Chitrin. In quite a few other ballparks, balls hit hard enough to go out. Not here in the Oakland Coliseum.
2 outs with men at first and third, and Matt Noakes will be the hitter against Moore. Matt's had some success against this fella, a couple of home runs, 8 out of 21 lifetime. And off to a good start at the plate, Matt Noakes, through the first month of the season. He rolls this one to Gallego, however. Over to McGuire, and the Yankees will settle for just the 1 run.
Moore did just what he wanted, didn't he? Prevent a big inning.
1 run, 1 hit, a couple left. Bottom of the first coming. Yankees 1, Oakland coming in to hit. Tim Leary on the mound for the Yankees this afternoon, making his 5th start. Coming off a no decision Friday in Chicago against the White Sox in the one game the Yankees have won on this road trip, an 11-inning 3-2 victory. Leary will face this lineup. Rickey Henderson leading off, followed by Dave Henderson and Jose Canseco. Harold Baines still in the cleanup spot, the DH. Terry Steinbach catching, Mark McGuire at first. Riles, Weiss, and Gallego, the bottom 3 in the Oakland order.
And I don't think Tim Leary is thinking very much pregame about Rickey Henderson or whether he gets on or whether he steals. He's probably thinking more of snapping the losing streak and the fact that he's no wins and 6 losses with an ERA way over 5 against Oakland Athletics. Mullins, Kelly Hall, Velarde, Espinosa, Sachs, and Kevin Maas. Mattingly DHing, of course. Matthew Noakes against Tim Leary, who wasn't as overpowering in his last ball game, but he gave the Yankees a good 7 inning in that 11-inning ball game where he kept them in the game.
And there's Rickey Henderson. Henderson, since Sunday, has shared the all-time stolen base record with Lou Brock. His 2nd steal of the year.
And what a crowd it is here. Not a full house nor 40,000. You're talking about Wednesday, a little afternoon start. Wonder how many he is responsible for bringing to this ballpark today.
40,000 plus last night. And Leary's pitch is a ball. Rickey Henderson hitting .273. And he would just as soon get this whole thing over with right now. 2-0 to count. I think he kind of enjoyed it last night, but not getting it last night and extending it into the afternoon for this one. I think he's ready. And a strike is called. It's 2-1. Rickey's mother in attendance.
Bobby Henderson. I'm trying to pick out Lou Brock, and I do not see him in that area. Is he down there now?
Lou is not in the stands, but is here and is adjacent to the screen, between the screen and the Oakland dugout. Count is 2-2. It's Lou Brock Jr. in the blue windbreaker right there.
Yeah, I see Lou now. I picked him out with my glasses right alongside the Oakland A's dugout, home plate side.
And a strike is called on Henderson.
Lou blocked out. There he is with the glasses on. He's ready to pop out in the field. He must feel this is the day. Not going to have to go through the gates or climb over the dugout.
3-2 the count on Rickey Henderson. And it's too low for a ball. So Henderson is aboard. Leary walks him to start the bottom of the first. And Lou Brock starts to move as Rickey Henderson moves in the first. Rickey has been caught 3 times this year. Brian Harper got him once. Junior Ortiz got him, and he was picked off by Jim Abbott the other time before he swiped the base to equal Lou Brock's record on Sunday.
It's interesting to watch all the people involved when something very dramatic might occur.
Dave Henderson, the hitter, and he goes after the first one and misses, strike one. Dave Henderson said last night when Rickey reached to open the 6th inning, he did take one pitch for him.
Rickey wearing his goggles for that head first slide.
0-1 to count. And Leary with a toss.
Everybody on edge. Noakes, Leary, Saxon, Espinosa. Mattingly said he's going to try and whistle a lot to destroy the concentration of Henderson. And of course, Don Denkinger in second.
0-1 to count. This one wide. Henderson had bluffed a little break away from first on that pitch. Rickey Henderson, a couple steals with Noakes behind the plate.
Wonder if Donnie taught Moss to whistle loud to destroy the conversation or the concentration.
1-1 to count. And Leary steps off.
He was going, folks. He was going.
We saw Island last night varying his delivery a little bit with Henderson.
A lot of slide steps.
Yep. And a toss over. Henderson back in easily. And as Lou Brock was saying, as soon as the pitcher starts throwing the ball over to first, that was a signal for Brock to take off. Well, let's see what Rickey Henderson does. The count's 1-1 on Dave Henderson, and another move over there. Rickey back in.
Like so many things in baseball, when you listen to Lou Brock, so much of it is romanticized, even when they get on the base stealing. And very basically, Rickey Henderson is a very fast runner who gets a very fast first step. And he's learned some more of the sophisticated techniques of getting a quick jump, but he does it sheer speed more often than not.
There he goes. Now he stops on the pitch out.
He read the
pitch out. He was going to go, but the Yankees, guessing, called for the pitch out, and Henderson read it. The count is 2 balls and a strike. So we're right down to it here in the bottom of the first.
Against great base stealers like Henderson and Brock before him and Wills, the pitch out is absolutely no deterrent. It just helps the hitter.
Leary again with a move, and Henderson is back in. Again, he was picked off against California, picked off by Abbott.
That'll show you how quick he is. He looked like he was going to be on the move again, and even though he had taken a short shuffle step to second, his quickness allowed him to get back safely.
Two-1 on Dave Henderson. There he goes. The pitch is a ball, and the throw is in time. Matt Noakes throws him out, and Rickey Henderson will have to wait. Matt Noakes on a 2-1 pitch guns out Rickey Henderson. Third time in Noakes' career that he has gotten Henderson, and the 4th time Henderson has been caught this year.
There has not been a more maligned catcher in all of baseball over the last few years than Matt Noakes. This is one of his brightest moments, getting Rickey Henderson. Remember, it was Sparky Anderson who took Noakes out from behind home plate and made him principally a DH. You think he's beaming right now?
Oh, you better believe it. So that takes care of Rickey Henderson, and Dave Henderson draws the walk.
How about Mark Hill in the bullpen, who spent all the time in the Instructional League last year? An outstanding pitch to throw on a fastball, a good release, and as Matthew Noakes said, all I want, he said it yesterday, is a good exchange. My pitcher and me. Espinosa puts the tag on. A lot of components. Larry, Noakes, and a quick snap tag by Espinosa.
So 1 gone. Henderson was breaking last night with Canseco at the plate when Canseco singled through the right side. The Athletics went on to score 4 in the 6th inning. Foul ball, strike 1.
You know, Dwayne, you wonder how much one incident like this, a throw out of Henderson by Noakes, can continue to instill that little bit more of confidence in Matt Noakes. We all know he's relearning the trade of catching and doing a lot of adjusting. But he has got to have a tremendous inner satisfaction after that.
Well, that's an experience that certainly will not hurt him and can go a long way toward helping him believe in himself, because that's the battle. He came to the Yankees out of Detroit not believing that he could be an effective catcher. 1 ball, 1 strike. And if he doesn't believe in himself, his pitching staff's not going to have any confidence in him. Canseco has been tough against the Yankees. 20 career home runs, more than against any other club. 2 balls and a strike.
And is Jose a little different hitter than he was at the end of last year when the back bothered him? All you got to do is watch him with Rick Burleson, the new hitting instructor, when he does his soft toss into the screen. The kinds of swings that Canseco has now as compared to last year, no comparison.
Rickey Henderson walked, was thrown out trying to steal by Matt Noakes. Dave Henderson followed with a walk. 2-1 the count on Canseco. And Leary is too high with this one. 3 balls and a strike. Leary 0-3 last year with an earned run average of 4.07 against Oakland, and lifetime an earned run average of 540. 3-1 the count. And Canseco lifts a towering fly ball into right center. Mel Hall out there. 2 gone, or 1 gone, 2 gone. So Canseco skies to right. 2 outs with Henderson. Dave Henderson still at first for the designated hitter Harold Baines.
Is that 4 times Ricky's been caught this season?
Yep, to go with a pickoff. 4 caught stealings. That pickoff technically a caught stealing as well. So 4 times in 6 attempts for Rickey Henderson.
I've never understood why they've worked that way and given even further benefits to the base stealer. I mean, heck, the guy gets picked off. If he wants to protect this percentage of steals and maintain a high percentage, he just goes back to first base. It's a pickoff. It doesn't go down as a caught stealing. Make an attempt for the next base. Sometimes those kinds of numbers can be deceiving and work to the benefit of that base stealer. So much is in their favor as compared to when Maury Wills was stealing a lot, as far as taking all kinds of the trick moves away, especially from right-handed pitchers.
The count's a ball and a strike on Harold Baines.
And that is not taking away anything from a Coleman or a Morgan or Rickey Henderson. But when Maury did it that one season, they did everything to him.
That's wide. 2 balls, 1 strike. Baines 2 out of his last 23, and now Leary, who's been consistently getting behind the hitters here in the first, will get a visit from Mark Connor.
Leary had such great control of his fastball against Kansas City when he struck out Brett 3 times. He just, to the left-hand hitters, was on the outside part of the plate, down most of the time. They were either taking it or swinging through it. Quite as sharp as last outing, but he did pitch a good game again his last outing. And then that forkball came around about the 3rd inning against Kansas City.
He is 2-1 with Baines. Picks up the corner right there. So that squares it at 2-2, despite Baines struggling a bit in the opening month, something he has done before. He has driven in 11 runs. And is out on strike. So Leary comes back to get him. That takes care of Oakland. The Yankees picked up a run in the first, and at the end of 1, Yankees lead 1-0. In the bottom of the first, Rickey Henderson walked and attempted to steal second base with Dave Henderson at the plate, but Matt Noakes threw him out. Espinosa applying the tag, and Henderson still at 938.
Even though all the components were right, it was very close. Espinosa just brushed the helmet of Rickey Henderson, but it was a quick release by both Leary and Noakes, and a good tag by Espinosa.
Inslee Mullins swings through a fastball, strike one. Mullins, Velarde, and Espinosa in the Yankees' second against Mike Moore. Too close, 1-1. Moore lost 15 games last year, under 500, while his teammates won over 100 games. Only been 2 pitchers to duplicate that. A ball, 2 strikes. That is to lose as many as 15 while your team won 100 games. Ralph Terry was 17-15 with the Yankees in '63. This one down, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and Dennis Martinez with the '79 Orioles won 15 but lost 16. 2-2 the count. And Hensley is out on strikes for the 17th time this year. So Mullins, who had a couple very good at bats last night against Bob Welch, strikes out his first time up today.
You can see how Frank Howard is trying to get his bat a little steadier. You can see on that little cut fastball or slider how the head flew off the ball just a little bit and couldn't keep the shoulder in. That's why some people, and Frank knows this as well as anybody, when they keep saying keep the shoulder in, well, Mullins' shoulder was in, but the head wasn't. I mean, that head rotates on the neck. It's a very simple thing, and the head was flying, and yet the shoulder was still in. And sometimes you tell young hitters like this, keep the shoulder in. Well, he is, but he's still not watching the ball.
Randy Velarde getting a start, first time since income tax day. April the 15th, the last time he started.
Did you really ask Lou Brock before the ball game if this is going to be his new tax home here in the Oakland Bay area with all the time he's spending here? He's going to take up residency.
I asked him if he was going to register to vote out here.
Yeah.
This one is too low. 2 balls and a strike. He's been here following Rickey Henderson, waiting for Henderson to break his record. Lou's out here with his son, Lou Jr. He'll vote in the next election in Oakland.
Doing interviews right during the game.
Velarde late.
You know, when Rickey got on base in that first inning, Lou left that runway right there and he went to the bench. So he must have been sitting right near Tony La Russa. Maybe he was calling the signs, saying, let him go. I got to get home fast, take care of my business interest in St. Louis.
This one foul, out of play. So the count to Velarde.
Guess who that is?
2
That
balls,
little
2
picture
strikes.
window right behind Durwood Merrill and Terry Steinbach.
That wouldn't be Reggie, would it?
You betcha. Which really
All 3.
is illegal. He's not supposed to be there.
Well, get him out of there.
Well, I have no control over the Hall of Famer, who is in great spirits.
1 out, base is empty. Velarde lifts this one into center. Dave Henderson drifting back on it. 2 gone.
I mean, just picture this scenario. Reggie Jackson's behind home plate when Tim Leary's behind out in the mound. Canseco comes up, and the catcher gives a sign and shifts inside, and Reggie just whistles for location inside. The standard getting a bird's eye view of what the catcher's doing to try and set up the hitters. And when he's in uniform, he ain't supposed to be there. Excuse the grammar. For point of emphasis, it's an 8.
And then that's the exception is noted.
Thank you, sir.
Here's Alvaro Espinosa trying to hold up, and it's a strike. Mullins strikes out. Velarde goes out to center. Espinosa finished a good month of April. 0 for 3 last night, but he's behind now. 0-2, hitting .367 to open the year. Moore went through a period where Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan felt he just needed to be more aggressive. He's had great stuff.
How do you change a guy's personality? They said that of him when he was up in Seattle. Didn't have enough fire. Well, he's got a great arm and he's had some good years.
A 2-strike count. One ball, 2 strikes. There's Frank Howard, who's had such a positive influence on Espinosa and a number of the other Yankee hitters.
Frank had a very lengthy conversation today around the batting cage with one of the all-time great Yankees, Frank Crissetti, who lives in this area. And this week in baseball, doing a special on Frank, interviewed him. Got a lot of stories about Ruth and DiMaggio and Gehrig and Maris and Mantle.
Hard hit to short, and Weiss takes care of that. Well, he's the one thread.
Oh, is he?
Throughout Yankee history, still with us. 1, 2, 3 go the Yankees. Inning and a half. 1-0 Yankees. From Oakland this afternoon. Yankees leading 1-0, moving into the bottom of the second. Tim Leary looking for his first win ever against the Oakland Athletics. Faces Terry Steinbach, the Oakland catcher. Ball 1.
Very quietly, Terry Steinbach, when healthy, has made a couple of all-star teams. In fact, he won an all-star game in the home run. Another one of those players like Dave Henderson you take for granted. Good players, but don't get a whole lot of publicity.
And Velarde takes care of him this time. So Steinbach, who enters this game with a 6-game hitting streak, out the first time around. MSG Sports Desk, the 15-minute edition coming up tonight. Following Yankee baseball, we'll have a recap of all the baseball action as the Stanley Cup playoffs continue and the NBA playoffs as well. On Sports Desk, the 15-minute edition.
I really think on that show they ought to feature Michael Kay's pie in the face. I mean, they ought to replay that, slow-mo it, stop action. Jimmy Lawrence.
McGuire fouls this one out of play, strike 1. And I'll tell you something, you're going to have a tough time convincing Mr. Kay that you didn't have a thing to do with that.
In fact, I flinched when I saw to the corner of my eye this flash of white go by me.
The count is a ball and a strike. They say, is that right? They found your shaving cream with your fingerprints all over it in the truck, right?
It's an old Jay Johnstone trick, and I would have no part of it.
2 balls and a strike. Anything for the show, right?
A little levity. It's going to be hard to get an interview with a writer these days. And then after that.
Yeah. There's a strike to square the count at 2-2.
Yep, the fourth estate. State of embarrassment is always good to see. No, occasionally good to see. They got that poison pen in their hands every day. Lawrence should be very aware.
And McGuire is out on strikes. I'll tell you who else thought you had something to do with it. It was Alvaro Espinosa, because he saw you sitting there. He says, I will never do an interview with you again. He says, I don't trust you.
These free gifts they get. Are they going to forsake those? No, not a ball player.
No
they
way.
could be making $5 million a year. If there's a free gift involved,
they're
going to go on. They're like the rest of us, mercenary.
Ernest Riles. You're about as honest as Tony La Russa is, aren't you? Here's Riles. My hero so far is Steve Farr. Ball 1.
Yeah.
Ask him why he signed. He said the money. It was so good. There wasn't any question. I like that. This one foul out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's Steve Farr in the Yankee bullpen.
He's still trying to figure out, like some of the other members of the bullpen, what their roles are. They'd like the roles defined a little bit more. I don't think anybody's said that to Stump Merrill, because he is still searching for the proper combinations offensively, defensively.
2 balls and a strike. Well, there's still a lot of pieces to define and put together on this Yankee club. Not only among the everyday players, but the bench and the bullpen.
Those all World Series and All-Star game pins, that's a valuable collection right there. That fella had on.
There's a strike, so the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Rickey Henderson reached in the first, was thrown out trying to steal to establish the record. Matt Noakes to Alvaro Espinoza. And a popper, short left center, and Riles has a base hit. Hewlins with the pickup. A 2-out single for Riles. Well, Weiss is going to be the hitter, and this is the frivolity that we all shared in prior to the ball game.
Larretz has to change his technique. He didn't really center that.
He looked a little like the Phantom of the Opera there.
Yeah, well,
just on the one side of his face.
You can tell Larrett's timing's all messed up. He hasn't played a whole lot. He was off center. He didn't really get it flush.
Here's Weiss. This one low, ball 1. And you can practice the pie in the face maneuver on the side all you want, but it's not the same as actually delivering the pie in the face.
If Jim Larretz had been a pitcher, he'd say, well, my rhythm was a little bit off.
Weiss fouls it out of play.
This guy's a good player right here. He's the guy who went to college, and a fellow named B.J. Surhoff, who was a shortstop, and the coach went to B.J. and said, look, B.J., I think we're going to move you to catcher, or maybe third base, because we got this guy, Walt Weiss, who is a pretty good player, especially defensively, and Walter Weiss has become a pretty good hitter also now.
Yep.
He'll be a 270 guy, I think.
Toss to first. Riles back in. Weiss continues to give a lot of credit to the Doyles, Brian Doyle, and their baseball school for helping develop him, educate him as an infielder.
To Brian and Denny Doyle last year, they were talking, I think they had something like 27 or 28 players who had gone to their school, many of them more than once as youngsters, that were in the big leagues. They were having their camp in Winter Haven, Florida, the Red Sox home a few years back. I don't know if they're still there, but they've got an international baseball school. They travel with their school to Canada, to Europe, take their instructors.
Weiss just back after missing 13 games with a hamstring strain. Good action on that pitch by Leary. The count is 2-2. Leary 56 and 75 in the major leagues.
Incidentally, they tell us that Pascual Perez had a great outing. Was it yesterday? 60 pitches.
Runners going. The pitch is high, and Noakes will get him. Oh, he got in there safe. Espinoza thought they had him, and Don Dinkinger called him safe out there. Noakes thought he had another caught stealing.
It was probably the little fadeaway or hook slide with Espinoza caught inside the bag a little bit, and you can see, had Espinoza done what Cal Ripken Jr. does, he holds the tag, he would have had Riles. The little hook slide to the outfield side. Now, Ripken does this better than anybody. They used to teach a swipe tag, but Ripken just keeps the tag, and when the guy goes off the base on the secondary tag, he gets a lot of runners who slide hard through the bag.
First steal for Riles this year, a full count on Weiss. And a foul ball on the check swing.
You explained this game. Rickey Henderson, about to become the all-time greatest stealer, sets the season record. You get him, bang, bang. And Riles, average runner at best, not known for his speed, and you just miss him. A quirky game, to say the least.
Defies prediction.
That's what I was trying to say.
3-2 the count. Riles back in. Cloudy afternoon at the moment and a bit cool in Oakland. A little rain before the game. Rained overnight here. Now Leary steps back as Weiss steps out. Overcast and windy.
Outfielders like this, because if you get the combination wind and sun here, you can have problems with fly balls.
Out of play. So Weiss, a tough out.
Right across the bay is the worst.
Oh.
Remember an all-star game that was played there in '61 where the late Kenny Boyer had ground balls with gravel blowing in his face. I think Kenny was charged with 3 errors. They could have given him 5. I remember Harvey Keene came over from the American League with the San Francisco Giants, and he said it was beautiful. He'd take batting practice. He said just wait till about the 3rd or 4th inning. Wow. The late Dick Hauser came in to play third base that day, and a ground ball was blown over his head, ended up in short left field. High bouncer.
And there's ball 4, down and in. Well, what's a story they used to tell about when the Giants moved out and they were building that park? They'd take Horace Stoneham and all the executives out there early in the day, and they'd say, see how lovely this area is. This will be beautiful for a ballpark here. But they'd never take them out there past the middle of the afternoon when that wind started to kick up and howl.
Stup Merrill doesn't like 3 bases on balls already, not through the 2nd inning.
Mike Gallego. And Leary misses. Leary went 3-2 to Rickey Henderson, walked him. He was caught stealing. He went 3-1 to Dave Henderson, walked him. 3-1 to Canseco, got him on a fly ball. Now in trouble here in the 2nd inning. A 2-out single by Riles and a 3-2 walk to Weiss. And is behind Gallego 2-0.
Well, Mark Connor just saw this in last night's ball game. Well, about 12 hours ago or whatever it was, in the 6th inning, a walk to Steinbach. Then McGuire's double, 2 runs home. And then an error, 4-run inning. Next inning, a walk to Gallego. Canseco, it's a 2-run home run.
There's ball 3. Gallego hasn't been hitting much lately, but he continues to walk out of that spot.
How does, and I'm sure Mark Connor goes home at night and worries about these same things. How do I get some consistency in these guys? Just when I think I've got them where I want them after sensational outings, things start happening.
And a strike call. Gallego thought he'd drawn the walk. Durwood Merrill says nope.
Of course, when you look at it, and you look at Larry, who's been with about 5 different teams, and Carey, who's been with several, part of their problem in their entire careers has been inconsistency. The arm strength is there. We've talked about that, but to try and keep these guys in a groove is a tough job for a pitching coach.
And he comes back to throw a strike. One of the reasons I've always thought that when you compute the age of a manager or a pitching coach, they ought to do it the way they compute a dog's age. You know, every year is equal to about 6 or 7 years of normal existence, because those two fellas around a big league ball club, they're tough. Foul ball, so they'll do that again. 3-2 with 2 men on. The runners got a few extra steps, breaking with the pitch.
How do you compute the manager's actual age after a 95-loss season like last year? Will it be better this year? I guess that's a question that some of the media people are asking right now after watching this ball club come out of spring training.
Runners go again, and there's ball 4, so they're loaded. The 4th walk of the game already issued by Leary. This after 2 men had been retired.
And you might
there's Stump.
And you might
agonizing.
Yeah, you might expect it, Dwayne, with a Rickey Henderson or a Canseco, they get a lot of walks, or even a McGuire, others in a tough situation. But not the 8th and 9th place hitters, Weiss and Gallego. That will get you in a whole lot of trouble. It already has.
Leary, who didn't walk anybody in his last outing against the White Sox, has walked 4 already. That's a season high in any one outing for him. And here's Rickey Henderson. He takes a strike on the inside edge and takes a glance at Durwood Merrill.
A 3rd place hitter, Rickey Henderson, hitting 1st. You know, when you look at Tim Raines when he hit 3rd up for the Montreal Ball Club, it was almost out of necessity for Buck Rogers up there. He figured, you know, he's a great leadoff hitter, Raines. but he was forced to move him into the third spot. This guy could hit any place in the lineup. Where have you seen a leadoff hitter like Henderson who could be a cleanup hitter in a lot of clubs?
Yep.
That's what he is. He's had big home run years.
Including last year with
28
in the MVP award. One ball, one strike. Leary was helped by that caught stealing in the first. Struck out Harold Baines to end that inning. But in a 2-out jam in the second. Two balls and a strike.
You know, when you think of great leadoff hitters, a name that is not mentioned very often is Eddie Yost, the walking man. Yost didn't have Rickey Henderson's speed. We look at Riles at third, Weiss at second, and Gallego at first. But Eddie Yost had a higher on-base percentage lifetime than Pete Rose, and he'd get you in double figures and home run leading off.
2-1. This is going to be out of play. 2-2. Well, there's no written law that says that leadoff man has to have extraordinary speed. It certainly helps, especially with the emphasis on speed these days. And there's a man who really made a difference in that leadoff spot.
Well, he had the speed, and Lou Brock had great power. I mean, he's one of the few guys, and there less than a handful, hit a ball in the old Polo Grounds in center field, which was like 480 feet away. And I remember a home run that Brock hit in Boston in the center field bleachers. Flew out of the ballpark, about 440.
Well, he made such a difference on that St. Louis ball club. He came over there, and when they won it in '64, he was the key addition to that club.
Johnny Key, the manager, said, Lou, if you want to stay in the bigs, you got to steal.
And Henderson is called out on strikes to get the Yankees and Leary off the hook in the second. No runs, one hit, and the A's leave the bases loaded as Henderson is caught looking. Through 2, 1-0 Yankees. We go to the third. Roberto Kelly misses that split-fingered pitch, strike one. Roberto struck out, call out on strikes in the first. Yankees 1 and Oakland 0. Kelly to be followed by Sachs and Mattingly. Roberto is behind 0-2.
Appears to have somewhat of a broad strike zone today. He hit on Rickey Henderson because he's near the corner.
The 0-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You know, somebody once did a survey of home plate umpires, and the word on Derwin, whether it's accurate or not, I don't know. Some player may have said it, somebody wrote it, that 2 strikes give the pitcher, but he was too tender-hearted to call a person out with 2 strikes. To tell you about his personality, whether it's accurate or not, I don't know.
And a base hit. So Henderson makes the pickup as Kelly's aboard, a tender-hearted umpire.
Yeah, didn't like to punch guys out, although a little different to Rickey Henderson with the bases loaded. Now Stump's got the guys on that he wants. If he's going to run, as we said yesterday, it's got to be Kelly or Sachs.
So Roberto on for the first time. He was running in the first inning last night, picking up his 4th stolen base of the year. And scoring on this fellow's home run, his first of the year.
Sachs, who hits a lot of balls on the ground, as you know, you want to try and create an opening and let a Roberto Kelly perhaps pick that split-fingered fastball. One will be more difficult for Steinbach, who has a very quick release to throw on.
And the pitch is down. Moore came over here with a pretty quick move to first, but
high leg kick.
Yeah, a deliberate, slow delivery time.
Put your money on this pitch right here as far as whether or not Roberto Kelly's going. We might see some throws over now.
Kelly back in. Yankees 6-11, 4.5 off the pace in the East, running 6th. Oakland 13-7, a half game in front in the West. Roberto again back in. A ball, no strikes, the count on Steve Sachs. is not going, and Sachs lines it foul, out of play. 1-1. Sachs in the number 2 spot in the Yankee order. Opened the season leading off. Now Kelly's in that spot with Mattingly third and Sachs sitting in between the two. Steve is 6 out of his last 12 to get the average up to 284.
We just saw the White Sox on the weekend series, and two of the things that the Oakland Ball Club and White Sox have in common are their strength up the middle and their pitching staff. Steve with Weiss and Gallego and Steinbach and Dave Henderson. Don't make mistakes up the middle.
There goes Kelly. The pitch is a strike on the inside corner, and they got him. Despite Weiss taking the throw on the shortstop side of the bag, Kelly is thrown out trying to steal for the 4th time this year.
And here comes Stump Merrill, who's going to argue the call with Don Dinkinger, the crew chief. This caught stealing can be attributed to the tag that you mentioned of Walter Weiss. He was safe.
Boy, oh boy.
Did you not think?
Yeah, I thought he was in there.
He tagged him up in the area of the face. And that hand had a lot of the bag before the tag was made.
Kelly thought he was in there, and so did Stump. Here's a look from another angle.
A tough throw for Walter Weiss. Yeah, that hand was already, the left arm was starting to crook a little bit as he hit the bag with it. He's on the bag, the tag's made up high. So one thing, Dinkinger was right there in excellent position.
Sachs tried to hold up and could not. He's out on strikes, and now the Yankees have another squawk with the umpiring crew.
Tim McClellan at first base.
Sachs thought he had held up. Started to go on and tried to hold up to protect himself, and is out on strike, says Tim McClellan. So on back-to-back plays, the Yankees are upset. 2 gone. Sachs really hot at McClellan.
And out of the corner of his eye, McClellan and even Dinkinger at second base, just looking to see if there's any equipment going to fly out of that dugout, and they'll pinpoint a guy. So Steve Sachs may have been right, but
a strike to count on Mattingly. This one away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
this team needs Don Mattingly to start getting the ball in the seats a little more frequently.
There's a home run and a double in the extra base hit department. And a liner to McGuire. Top of the 3rd is over. No runs, 1 hit, caught stealing, and nobody left. We're going into the bottom of the 3rd from Oakland. Yankees 1, Athletics nothing.
Henderson against the right-hander Tim Leary, and takes a strike, 0-1.
Dave questioning the height of that pitch.
Well, the pitcher's getting the high strike today, or at least a couple of them. Swing and a high, deep drive to left field. That ball is hit high and deep and back, and you can tell it goodbye. Number 7 for Dave Henderson, and this one is tied. Dave 6 for his last 12 now. And it's tied up at 1-1.
Well, good hitters figure out where the strike zone is from the umpire, and then figure if that's where it's going to be. They look for it and they swing at it. And he got under that and just lifted it. Well, that pitch was lower between the waist and the knees, and watching a replay, went down and got it.
Here's Canseco, fly to right his first time, takes a fastball strike on the inside, 0-1. Well, Henderson starts off in May just like he ended up in April. Dave outside for a ball, 1-1. Dave, coming into today's game, led the major leagues in hits with 29, total bases with 56, slugging percentage 747, extra base hits 15, and he's added to those totals. Popped up behind first base. Moss going down the line. Now Sachs comes over. Can't make the catch. And it drops in foul territory, according to first base umpire Tim McClellan. I think he motioned it a foul ball. Canseco remains at first base, but I think he'll have to come back. I think I saw McClellan motion. That was, boy, that ball hit right on the line. Canseco reluctant to leave first base. That ball, McClellan couldn't have been any more than 10-15 feet away from that.
There's no doubt Moss was going to have trouble right as soon as the ball was hit.
The only possibility could be is if that ball touched his glove and he reeled the glove was in foul territory, and I think that's what happened.
He was motioning to Dave McKay.
Yeah.
He's pointing to his
hands. I think
that
Sachs touched the ball and it was in foul territory. When it touched his glove, it dropped back in fair territory, and that does not make it a fair ball. So it did land in fair territory, but it came off of Sachs's glove, which was in foul territory. 1-2 to Canseco. Score tied 1-1 here in the third. Strike 3 called, and Canseco's out on strikes. Number 4 for Leary. Harold Baines will be the batter. Baines struck out his first time. Harold has his struggles generally in the month of April. And he drives this one into left center field deep, and it's going all the way to the wall. Baines will be in at second base. So a new month for Harold Baines, and he doubles.
I figure that's where he's going to hit the pitches, especially outside. And surprising to see a lot of outfielders playing Baines shallow, especially in center and left. He has the power to hit the ball out to the opposite field. That time, Mullins went more directly at the ball instead of going back on it, but possibly had a chance to make the catch.
Terry Steinbach grounded to third his first time. Baines at second base with 1 out. A run in on Dave Henderson's home run. Score tied 1-1. Leary's pitch to Steinbach. Swung on, fouled away. Strike 1, and that one skidded into the seats. Nothing and 1 the count to Steinbach. Steinbach has a 6-game hitting streak. Pitch high for a ball. 1-1. Hit 8 and driven in 8 runs in that 6-game streak. What's just as important is the way that he's been throwing. Really get his mechanics down good. That swings and skies it to shallow right. Hall coming in and makes the catch. Baines has to remain at second base. 2 men are down. And it's Mark McGuire, a strikeout victim, his first time. It predicted all sorts of weather conditions today. Rain, possible hail, and wind. It is a solid overcast right now, threatening rain, but I don't believe any rain has fallen during the game. Besides that, it'll be mainly on the plane when it does. That plane that's flying overhead, you think, Bill? Fastball outside to McGuire for a ball, 1-0. 2 down, runner at second, a run in. The A's and Yankees tied up 1-1. Bottom of the third. McGuire trying to put the A's in front. He did that yesterday. Leary from the stretch and the pitch. Outside, ball 2. That 5th inning still going on for Milwaukee? Milwaukee scored 6 times in the bottom of the 5th inning to lead the White Sox 6-5. Strike called. Boy, Merrill is giving that high strike. I think more pitchers ought to get that pitch up there. They squeeze it too much, but the hitters are surprised when an umpire starts calling them in that way. 2-1 to McGuire. 2 out. Baines leading from second. Ball 3. Pitching McGuire pretty much away. The 3 that he's missed have been outside. Atlanta has gone in front of St. Louis in the 10th inning, 5-4. Cubs beating on Houston 11-4 in the 7th inning. 3-1 to McGuire. Swing and a miss. Pitch out away from him, and McGuire didn't get it. It's 3-2.
From the slider, 3-1, and a good breaking slider.
3-2 to McGuire. Leary ready to work the full count. Way outside, ball 4. His 5th walk. Now Riles, who blooped a single to left his first time up. Left-hand batter. Takes a strike on the inside, 0-1. Baines leads at second. McGuire at first. Bluff behind Baines at second, but draws no throw. Swing and a foul by Riles, out of play at strike 2. Leary gets in front of Riles, 0-2. Way outside, bounces off the mitt of Noakes, but he retrieves it. Interesting that Leary threw 23 wild pitches last year, setting a Yankee record. The most previously had been 14 by Al Downing in one season. Jack Morris, 24, leads American League history. Swing, drive to deep right center field. Hit well back, and that one is going all the way to the wall. Bounces up off the wall. 2 runs will score. Riles is digging for third. He will have a stand-up triple, and the A's lead it by a score of 3-1. And that's your A's replay. Remember that play. Listen to your A's radio network station tomorrow morning for a chance to win great prizes. A's replay brought to you by Max Bar and Grill.
A's caught a break as that ball hit the wall, and instead of going over the wall, which would have been a ground rule double holding McGuire at third base, Instead, it hit the wall, came back, allowing Mac to score easily.
He hit it far enough that it hit the base of the wall so it could come back.
Well, the outfield shading Ernest over into left center, and that ball plays perfectly in the middle over in right center.
Now here's Walt Weiss, the 7th man to bat in the inning. Drew a walk his first time. The A's in front for the first time, 3-1. Outside for a ball. Weiss bluffed a bunt, and Velarde at third base came charging down the line. Strike. It's 1-1. Riles hit that home run, or Anaheim, where he hit a line drive home run, and I was talking to him about his sprint around the base. He said, well, that's the way I always hit my home runs. He said, I have to run because I don't know if they're going out. I hit the line drives. Well, since that time, he's hit the speaker at Seattle that cost him a home run, and now he hits this high towering drive for a triple. Bunted by Weiss, and he was trying to bunt for a base hit. It had to be for a base hit, but it was funny. He was staying right at the plate, almost like he was a squeeze bunt.
Well, I think,
but they're 2 out.
I think it was an off-speed pitch, which forced him to stay at the plate instead of looking for a fastball, getting it, pushing it, and being able to take off quickly.
Rich Monteleone throws in the bullpen for the Yankees. High for a ball. It's 2-2.
I don't think it's so much of Leary being in trouble as the fact that he has thrown a lot of pitches in just the bottom of the 3rd inning for him.
Well, the A's need a single to hit for the cycle in this inning. The home run, double, triple, and a walk. 2-2 pitch. Missed. It was close, and it's 3-2. Full count to Weiss. With 2 out, a runner at third. Riles triple, driving in 2. Ball 4, he walked in. Walk number 6 by Leary. That is his highest for the season. I don't know whether that's his highest for his career or not. So the Yankees will send out their pitching coach, Mark Connor, to talk with Leary and find out if there's something that he doesn't know that he should know. Everybody gathered around behind the mound. Connor discussing things with Leary, who's faced 7 men in this inning. And they will stay with the Yankees with O'Leary, and he'll pitch to Gallego. Gallego drew a walk in the 2nd inning. Runners at first and third. Outfield shades Gallego to the right, and they're not playing him real deep. Leary set to go as Gallego moves in the batter's box. Weiss at first, Riles at third. Leary steps off to bluff Weiss back in. The A's could be running here with Weiss taking off for second base, trying to draw a throw. Chance to steal second, or maybe work the double steal. Gallego takes a fastball strike 0-1, and Weiss was not running at first. Of course, La Russa might be a little cautious with Weiss. He certainly doesn't want to get him back on the shelf again after just getting him off the disabled list. Leary in front of Gallego with 1 strike count. Weiss with a good sized lead at first. Doesn't go, and Gallego was going to bunt and takes a strike.
And another breaking pitch, or at least a fastball running away, or a hard slider, cut fastball or slider.
I don't know. The A's must feel that Velarde can't handle the bunts because he's been playing in close. Now he backs up, but Weiss tried to bunt, and Gallego was going to there, but he thought that pitch was out of the strike zone. Now he's behind 0-2. Swings and misses. He's out on strikes. But the A's come up with 3 runs in the bottom.
We're through 3, Mr. Kubek, and it's a 3-1 ball game. See what you can do here.
Well, can't help Leary. He struggles with his control. They had Mike Moore, who has struggled with his control most of the season thus far, on the ropes, and they came up with just 1. Kevin Moss will lead it off, and then Mal Hall and Matt Noakes. Fouled out of play by Kevin Moss. Kevin walked in the first. That was the inning that Mike Moore walked Sachs and Moss, and 1 out and the bases loaded. Mal Hall sacrifice fly, and then Matt Noakes grounded out. The Yankees came up with just the 1 run. Shift is on. He won't get this one by Mark McGwire. An excellent defensive first baseman. In fact, Sandy Alderson, when asked about McGwire struggling with the bat, he said, hey, last weekend he won 2 ball games with his glove for us. Program reminder for you fans, college baseball here on the MSG Network. St. John's versus Villanova. Baseball action, Redmond Field. MSG Network, the best in the game. That's 12 noon on Saturday. 1 out. Off-speed pitch to Mal Hall for a strike.
All happy to get back in the lineup. He was unhappy last night that he wasn't in there against Bob Welch.
Well, I would guess Jesse Barfield's unhappy today. Forkball chopped up the middle. Walter Weiss is there on the second base side of second. He gets to a lot of balls so easily, Dwayne, that you do take him for granted because of his instincts and his anticipation in playing the count and the hitters. Two outs, Matt Noakes. Grounded out in the first. Fastball strike. That's one thing these Oakland pitchers do. It's something that the Yankee pitchers have not done this year. Once they get that lead, for some reason, they come out with a little added incentive. Hit hard on a low pitch. It is out of here. Matt Noakes went down and got a very tough pitch and drilled it over Canseco and the right field fence. 3-2.
That's his 3rd career home run off Mike Moore. So he swings the bat very well against this guy.
10 RBIs for Matthew Noakes now. I'm not saying any pitch is unhittable, but that looked like an exceptional pitch in a good spot.
And the ball seemed to just explode off his bat once he reached out there and down to get it.
Hensley Mullins, a strikeout victim in the second. Right on the outer edge in the knees.
Noakes is using a little heavier bat this year.
Couple ounces.
Yeah. That might have something to do with that.
Well, he just feels with his added strength through the intensive weight program during the offseason, which he continues in the maintenance program today, that he gets more mass through the ball. He's a low ball hitter, but that was a terrific low pitch with a lot of movement. It moved very quickly over the right field fence also.
That was a tough pitch for Mullins to handle right there.
1 ball, 2 strike to Hensley. Right field, Canseco drifting back. The wind will push this near the wall on the warning track. The ball is carrying in that area. Nice at bat by Hensley. Noakes home run gets the Yankees 1 run closer. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. 3-2 Athletics. Rickey Henderson will step in the batter's box for his 3rd at bat in this ball game where the Athletics lead over the Yankees 3-2. But Rickey Henderson is the focal point. He walked, was caught stealing by a perfect throw by Matt Noakes in the first, and then called out on strikes. A strike from Tim Leary. 938 stolen bases. with Bobby Henderson, his mother, and Lou Brock continuing to look on. Exhorting him on from the picture window, Mr. October, Reggie Jackson. 1-1. Bobby, the focal point of photographers, as is her son, Rickey. 2-1, says Durwood Merrill. A 3-run third on 3 base hits gave the Oakland Athletics the lead. Hit hard right through Espinosa's legs. Henderson's on again to challenge the Brock record. Hit right on the button through the legs of Espinosa. We have not gotten a scoring decision yet.
The ball was hit so hard that Espinosa found himself back on his heels, back on the ball. We'll see how they score it.
Hit very hard, and then the ball scooted right through Espy's legs.
It's going to be an error, I think.
The spotlight now on the man on first base, trying to break the all-time stolen base mark of Lou Brock. Big lead by Henderson. He's holding. Ball 1. Dave Henderson with a walk and a home run in the third, who yesterday took 3 call strikes with Henderson on. But he said, I was really only taking 1. I said, Rickey and I have a sign so that I'll let Rickey know, or Rickey will let me know whether he can read the pitcher or not and tell me to hold up for a pitch or a strike, or whether to go ahead and mash.
A little different situation than last night when his club was down 2 runs. Oakland ahead now.
False start. Ball 2. The last time, Espinosa was covering the bat and made the snap tag. And now Noakes and Leary are going to talk it over on a 2-0 count.
And Lou Brock and his son, just to Lou's right, Lou Jr.
I like to listen to him philosophize about base stealing. It's quite an experience. Talking about Rickey Henderson will have when he gets on an out-of-body experience. Next thing you know, Rickey's going to levitate his way to second base. 2-0. Some of the fans are up for Rickey Henderson. Not going. 2 balls, 1 strike. It's like Rickey that time never even made an attempt, never leaned. A lot of the signs, when Billy Martin was here, Rickey's big stolen base season, the signs went directly from Billy Martin to Rickey Henderson. Didn't even bother to go through a coach at third base. And as Tony La Russa told us in our pregame interview, Rickey has such good sense, only infrequently will I give him the stop sign. Not going again. Ground ball. Velarde with a long throw. He's safe. First and second, nobody out. Randy could not get a hole out on his throw across the diamond, so now Dave Henderson has been on base all 3 times, a single, a walk, and a home run. And now Rickey Henderson is right where he wants to be. He may steal third base with a higher percentage than second.
Velarde just fair, but very deep. Couldn't get a lot on the throw, and it was late by the time he got it all the way over there. And the bullpen is going to go to work again. Monteleone was up in the third, and he starts to throw again here in the 4th inning.
And that last leap by Dave Henderson down at first base, trying to beat the ball out, which he did off to Velarde, looked like he jammed his heel. They'll have to watch Rickey at second base now with Canseco up. Pickoff attempt. He got him. Oh, boy, that was close.
And
that was close.
Larry immediately reacted.
That is Don Dankinger, the crew chief at second base. Dankinger called Rickey Henderson out at second on his first steal attempt. And then on what looked like a safe slide by Kelly, ruled him out. Well, Espinosa and Sachs are right near the second base bag. Canseco gets jammed. Hewlins and Kelly. Roberto's got it. Rickey will bluff, but hold on. 1 out, still 2 on.
Leary got that ball in on Canseco. Really came inside on him to jam him. Leary just has not been consistent. He made some good pitches like that one to Canseco, but then just as quickly he's gone back the other way and has struggled with his control and location of pitches.
A little more difficult for Rickey Henderson now if he's going to attempt to steal third with a left-handed hitter up in Harold Baines, where that catcher does not have to throw over the right-handed hitter. As we've said before, and everybody knows, when everything's right for Rickey, it doesn't matter. Left-handed hitter up. Sachs has had to move farther away from the bag at second for Henderson. Espinosa now will get a chance to jockey back and forth.
And in this situation, Tony, you can see Dinkinger on the inside of the bag now. With Canseco up there, he was playing behind the bag. And has a little different view of that pickoff attempt.
Inside and low to Harold Baines. Athletics lead it 3-2. With 1 out, 1-0 count on Baines. They are threatening again with 2 men on. Rickey Henderson, last year's American League MVP, down at second base. He's going. Here comes the throw. He's got it.
Surpasses Lou Brock's 938 and makes Rickey the all-time Major League stolen base leader. For 12 years, please welcome Hall of Famer Lou Brock.
Rickey, history will tell us that competition among men is one of the oldest practices known to man. Even some of the great philosophers like Socrates, Aristotle, they were competitive. And today, you might have been the greatest competitor that ever run bases in the big leagues. I say, congratulations to you. You are now truly a legend of your time. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
to salute Rickey's tremendous accomplishment. Lou Brock and A's manager Tony La Russa are now presenting Rickey with a bronze statue and a commemorative plaque proclaiming Rickey as the Major League Stolen Base King. Congratulations, Rickey Henderson. The A's would like to honor the person that Rickey Henderson credits with being the greatest influence on his career. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the A's organization, Rickey is now presenting his mother, Bobby Henderson, with a plaque to commemorate this very special occasion. Congratulations, Mrs. Henderson.
Took a long time, huh? First of all, I would like to thank God for giving me that opportunity. I want to thank the Haas family, the Oakland organization, the city of Oakland, and all y'all beautiful fans for supporting me. First of all, I would like to thank my mom, my family, friend, and loved one for their support. I want to give my appreciation to the late Tom Trevorhorn and the late Billy Martin. Billy Martin was a great manager. He was a great friend to me. I love you, Billy. I wish he was here. Lou Brock was a symbol of great base stealing, but today I am the greatest of all time. Thank you.
No false modesty there, Dwayne, and that he is the greatest base stealer of all time. And that crown has been worn sometimes regally and sometimes not by many in the history of the game. Here it is again.
He got a great jump, Tony. There was no question about the outcome of this play. Number 939 for Rickey Henderson.
So Lou Brock's watch is over, and Rickey Henderson will continue to excel on the bases, continue to add to a record, as he says, maybe 6 or 8 more years if he's healthy. He's shooting for 1,500. From the violent personality of a Ty Cobb to the man who broke the color barrier when Branch Rickey gave him a chance, the late Jackie Robinson, through Maury Wills, another great Dodger, Luis Aparicio, the Hall of Fame Venezuelan. Gentleman Lou Brock here again today. It all belongs to Rickey now.
And the 216th time he has stolen third base in his career. Lou Brock said it the other night, you have to have a certain arrogance about you to be a great base stealer. And Rickey Henderson, as of this moment, the greatest base stealer of them all.
A passionate moment for a man who, as Lou Brock has said many times, has to have passion and a love to steal a base and to be in the center of everything. Back to the game. Athletics 3, Yankees 2. 1 out, 2 balls, no strikes with runners on the corner to Harold Baines. Fouled out of play. So Noakes early in the game in the first inning after Henderson walked, gunned Henderson out at second base. Snap tag by Espinosa, but could not overcome the great jump by Rickey Henderson going to third. Quite a moment. 2-1 to Baines. Fouled off out of play. A moment in baseball history that 25, 50 years down the road, there'll be millions who will say, I was there.
You can see Henderson has done in 12 years what it took Brock to do 19 years.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Tim Leary suspecting that Dave Henderson might be on the move. There's just 1 out. Leary trying to keep the Yankees in this ball game. He's not going. Through the right side, Henderson will score the 4th A's run. First and second. Steinbach will step in. Might be it for Leary, we'll see. Once again, they're standing for Rickey Henderson.
Henderson greeted by his teammates. You know, Hank Aaron, when he broke Babe Ruth's record, said there was no greater feeling in sports than to want a player gets when his teammates are genuinely excited over one of his own personal accomplishments. Excited just to be his teammate. That's how the Athletics must feel about Rickey Henderson right now.
Never forget, following Henry Aaron around that year, opening day in Cincinnati. First swing of the bat during the regular season off Jack Billingham. He tied the Babe's record. First swing of the bat at home in Atlanta against Al Downey. He broke it. You think his heart is still beating quickly?
Oh, yeah.
1 ball, no strikes on Steinbach. Fly ball, right field. Mal Hall with a runner at second, tagging up. Hall's got it for the second out. Runners at the corners again.
Wow. 988 fewer games to break the record for Henderson than it required for Brock.
A man who can control the game as well as anybody. That constant everybody talks about. You're getting a batting slump, you're getting a feeling slump, but the legs are always there, and Rickey did it. Rickey did it with, ironically, he got the rap when the Yankees had him. He wouldn't play when he was hurt, that he dogged it, and he's been coming to the ballpark every day and telling Tony La Russa, I want to play. And he did it again this morning. They know he's not 100%. Rickey trying to shed the image that he has created himself, somewhat of a maverick, and he will play hurt and he will think of the team first. McGuire swings through a pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 4-2 Athletics. Yankees got 1 in the first. And then the A's in the third hit Leary with the 3 spot. His control has been a problem. Trying to pitch out of this jam. Just missed. 2-2. McGuire struck out, walked, and scored a run in the third. Not only his record, Rickey Henderson finally last year in his MVP year was starting to get his due, and people were saying, you know, we keep talking about all these guys going to go to the Hall of Fame. And the realization came that not very frequently was Rickey Henderson's name mentioned with those kinds of words. People are realizing what an impact he's had not only on baseball, but with every team he's ever played on. There have been two, the Yankees and the Oakland Athletics. The Yankees offense would look a lot different with him there. There goes the runner. 3-2, 2 outs. They're loaded up as Leary walks another. And Ryle steps in, who tripled home 2 runs in the third. And here comes Stump Merrill. No left-hander in the bullpen, just Rich Monteleone for Ernest Riles. So Catteray and Guterman have not been up in this ball game. It brings in a pitcher. It'll be another right-hander to pitch to Ernest Riles. So Leary will lead. With the bases loaded and trailing by 2, Monteleone on to try and save the ERA of Tim Leary. Rich Monteleone comes on to relieve Tim Leary. He was in last night's game, second outing he's had on this road trip. Well, 2 runs last night, both earned. Jose Canseco with a 2-run home run. He'll face Ernest Riles, 2 for 2 in the ball game. And the Yankees trailing 4-2. A ball to Riles.
Well, a lot of pitches today by Leary. 104 pitches in 3 2/3. The runners: Henderson, Dave at third, Baines at second, and McGuire at first.
Little low, 2-0 to Riles. Riles with the chance to break this game wide open. When you look, Eckersley down in the bullpen, Mike Moore, the starter, who sat on the bench a long time on this cool day with a celebration for Rickey Henderson. A strike to Riles. Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan use their bullpen, even with 3 rookies down there. It's a tough team to come back on, especially with the Yankees offense. Important for Monteleone to save these runs. Outside, 3-1. On the verge of forcing a run in. They continue in the outfield to play Riles toward left center field, even though he burned them deep to right center field. And he pulls another one. Now Hall may have a shot at home plate. Here comes the throw. Latchman holds the runner up. 5-2 Athletics, with Walt Weiss due to step in. I mean, Riles now has gotten a single to left, a triple to right center, and now a single to right. And when you're hitting ahead in the count, as Riles has the last 2 times, you'd love to see that outfield swing around, more of a pull mode. The hitters hitting his pitch. Weiss has walked twice in the ballgame. Strike. Even Rickey Henderson's quest to break the Brock career record, which he did early this inning, has not deterred this Oakland ball club. They are so good. Kelly's got it. The Athletics strand 3 more. That is 9 through 4 innings. The big story, that man, Rickey Henderson, 939. Will he take the field for another ovation? Here it is. A great jump off second base. And let the celebration begin. Athletics 5, Yankees 2. We'll be back. They are standing once again for Rickey as the PA announcer makes the announcement that the record-setting stolen base, the Oakland Athletics will donate $75,000 in Rickey Henderson's name to a variety of charities. One of those very dear to Rickey's heart and Major League Baseball. And Willie Stargell, who's done so much good work. Society to Prevent Sickle Cell Disease. A disease that hits blacks principally, young blacks, sickle cell trait. Trying to find a cure. Some of the money by the A's would go for that wonderful cause. 5-2 Athletics. Velarde, Espinosa, Kelly facing Mike Moore. Fouled out of play.
We'll see if the long layoff affected Moore at all.
It was a good half hour. I didn't have a stopwatch on it. Larry struggling with his control. Lou Brock's wonderful speech. Bobby Henderson out. Tony La Russa out. Plaques. Great looking bronze statuette commemorating the event. Canseco toward right center field. One out of the fifth.
I thought it was great that Henderson had those certificates made up commemorating the fact that the people who are here saw the record-breaking stolen base. Some people would think that maybe that's an extension of the ego, but in this case, I really think it was an extension of Henderson trying to maybe give a hand and extend the courtesy to the fans here to let them be part of the event.
Sliced foul by Espinosa. Ball and a strike. Well, I think you've got to have, for lack of a better word, a monumental ego, not just an ego, to do what Rickey Henderson has, especially with so many people because of his personality, sometimes volatility, some said immaturity, and a certain amount of racial prejudice, I would add, pulling against him. A wonderful achievement for Rickey Henderson. Fork ball too low. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Espinosa. A guy like Rickey Henderson, who draws so much attention. You know, pitchers throw at him. They've done that a lot. Get him out of his crouch or to intimidate him. I mean, there are times where he cannot be expected, with all the pressures on him and the physical wear and tear, to give what they say 100% all the time. And I'm not diminishing the fact that a guy should when he's getting paid big money. But there are just times where there's got to be, for a guy like Rickey, the emotions get to you so and it wears you down. He's the focal point. Every ball game he plays in spite of the fact they've got the Cansecos and the Stewarts and the Eckersley. Every team in their meeting says, keep that guy off base, and they'll do anything to do it. Three and 2 to Espinosa. Moore thought he had the outside corner. Durwood Merrill didn't feel that way. With 1 out, Espinosa's on. First walk given up by Moore since he walked 2 in that first inning. Roberto Kelly with a strikeout, a single, and a caught stealing. These fans, many of whom I'm sure were among the 40,000 plus last night for the short turnaround, came back out today. A little emotionally sapped. This will be a wild pitch charged to Mike Moore. Espinosa advances a base.
And now the business at hand for the Yankees is to try to win a game from this Oakland team. This is the third wild pitch of the year charged to Mike Moore. So now that the stolen base record is in the hands of Rickey Henderson, the Yankees, who are trying to block it out anyway, refocus on trying to figure out a way to beat Oakland.
Trying to snap a 15-game losing streak against the Oakland Athletics. 1-1 to Kelly. The Athletics swept the season series against the Yankees 1990. Little low, 2-1. Yeah, you could hear the proverbial pin drop in this ballpark right now.
Yep. You know, Moore has made some very good pitches today. That split-fingered pitch, a couple of them won in this sequence to Kelly. The A's were so concerned because his strikeout pitch disappeared last year. His strikeouts were way down.
2-2. You know, when you think and you try and zero in on the Mike Moore at his best, and he wasn't that last year. Strikeout pitch, well, a guy that throws the ball 90, he can get you with that. Time he had a great slider, and I haven't seen much of it today. Get you with that. And he's got that splitter that can get you also.
Well, he went from 172 strikeouts in '89, walking 83, to striking out just 73 last year and walking 84.
Pitched less than 200 innings last season. 2-2. He got him. Something that dropped off the table, I'm assuming. It's a hard split-fingered fastball. There are 2 down.
Here's a pitch. He threw one for strike one to Kelly, and then strikes him out with that pitch. His 4th in this game.
1 out, 2 outs. The Yankees trailing by 3 for Steve Sachs, who has walked, scored a Yankee run in the first, and also struck out. And he didn't like it. Gonna be trouble. It'll drop in. The runner will score, making it 5-3 as Espinosa's walk turns in to be a run. A walk and a wild pitch. And Sachs drives him in. Mattingly now with the Yankees trailing by 2. Will probably up until 2 strikes sit on the pitch. He might be able to drive, but he's done that before, and unable to do it much the last season or 2. A ball to Mattingly.
And Moore keeping the ball down and away from him, trying to avoid giving him a pitch that he can drive.
One and one. Away to Mattingly, who is so quick inside. A bouncer, Sachs may get picked off. He does. A nice block by Steinbach, and then he pounced all over it, and Steve Sachs thought he could make it before he could recover. A snap throw right on the money against Sachs with Mattingly's bat standing at home plate. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. There's Steve. He thought the ball went farther. Mattingly's tying run left in the batter's box. Athletics 5, Yankees 3, as we'll go to the bottom of the 5th. Rickey Henderson, walk caught stealing in the 1st, called out on strikes in the 2nd, single in the 4th. They give him a single on that ball, they give Espinosa there.
Espinosa got
right
the
through
error.
Espinosa's legs, and a hard hit ball, and the official scores with an error. Got as far as 2nd, and then stole his 939th. Lou Brock looking on. Got it when he dove into 3rd base. Nothing tricky about Rickey Henderson and his slides. Early in his career, they thought he was damaging his shoulder, sliding so hard through the bag. He's hit deep. Hit deep. Mullins can't get it. Henderson, with that bad leg, jogs into second base as the ball caroms off the padding in left field. He's got a double, been on base 3 times. I don't know if Rickey thought the ball was going to go out, or maybe he thought it's going to get caught. The swirling winds here.
In that case, the winds made a little difference. You have competing winds here, actually. As he hit the ball back toward the corner. Mullins went into the 330 marker in that padded wall.
The sun was out at that moment, so Mullins was battling the sun, looking right into it, and the wind. Dave Henderson, a walk, a home run. He was also on in the 4th. Too low. Franklin batting leaders. Edgar Martinez continues on the tear up in Seattle. That's where the Yankees go next for 4 games. Dave Henderson, second. Outside, Dave Henderson, 2-0. Rickey Henderson cruising into second, and so far the first 2 pitches to Dave Henderson, taking it very easy down at second base with 1 out. Even when Rickey Henderson is showing no signs of steal, I'm not saying he won't, but he still has Monteleone, the middle infielders, preoccupied. Fouled off. Dave Henderson, a great 2-0 pitch to him.
I thought what was so amazing, other than the record-breaking steal itself, was the jump he got. Leary had made a couple moves back to second base on him, tried to pick him off, and came very close to doing it once. And then it seemed on that particular pitch, he completely forgot about him. Henderson knew it and had a great jump, and there was never any question about the outcome of the steal.
False start, breaking ball, strike to Dave Henderson, 2-2. Well, most great base stealers have always felt that third is easier to steal than second base, even though the catcher's got a shorter throw. The inner arrogance where they say they can get a bigger lead. A lot of pitchers don't like to try pickoffs at second base for fear the ball going to center field. Monteleone throws. I don't know if there's ever been a more dynamic first step in baseball than that guy's. He's going. Here comes Noakes' throw. He is out. So he's been caught twice in this ball game. He kind of rolled into his lead and rolled in his move toward third.
Well, despite being the catcher who gave up the record-breaking steal, Noakes has had a pretty good day. He has caught Henderson twice. He threw him out at second in the first and now at third in the 5th inning.
Foul, massive foul territory in Oakland, out of reach of Kevin Maas. So Tim McClellan, the third base umpire. Rickey leaving. He's going to get a breather. McClellan is there at third. He'll be all over the paper and probably photographs. Excuse me, Gary Cedarstrom, the young umpire at third. Probably have his picture in the Hall of Fame. Some of the stills or the video of Rickey's record-breaking steal. A little out in front. Mullins started back. Glasses down. He's got it. So Matthew Noakes catches Henderson for 2 of 3 steal attempts. We'll be back after this with the Yankees trailing by 2.
We have gone through 5 in Oakland with the Athletics leading the Yankees. It's a 5-3 ball game now. Oakland with 3 runs in the 3rd and 2 runs in the 4th. The Yankees single markers in the 1st, 4th, and 5th. And Don Mattingly will open the 6th inning. Mattingly was at the plate in the 5th when Sachs was picked off. Sachs started to make a move on a ball thrown into the dirt. Steinbach made a fine recovery and threw to first to get Sachs to end the inning. First pitch to Mattingly is a strike. 0-1 the count. Mattingly, Moss, and Hall. 3 left-handed bats against Moore. 1 ball, 1 strike. Don's single picked up an infield hit in the 1st inning. 2 balls and a strike the count.
And boy, when you're scrapping for runs, as the Yankees have been and will be against good pitching in the West, you get base runners erased, and hey, it's not Sachs' fault, and I'm not sure it was Hall's fault when he got picked off 1st and 3rd in Chicago by Jack McDowell. Those things really add up when you're scratching for runs.
There's ball 3, 3-1. The Yankees got to Moore for a run in the 5th after that long layoff between half innings. And Oakland has a left-hander, Kurt Young, throwing in the bullpen right now as we open the 6th. Mattingly takes the 3-1 the other way. Henderson back toward the corner and makes the catch.
Made it look easy, didn't he?
He did.
First step acceleration, right to the spot. Almost on the line for Don Mattingly. The multi-dimensional Rickey Henderson. His walk doubled off the wall. And now does this.
So Mattingly's retired for Kevin Moss.
I wonder what George Steinbrenner would give to get Rickey Henderson back. George is one of the reasons perhaps that Rickey Henderson left. Start with.
First pitch to Moss is a ball.
And I think Rickey wanted to get back here where he was born and raised. That something to do with it.
A 1 ball, no strike count. 2-0. But as he said the other night, when he was a kid, everybody wanted to be a Yankee. We've had some rain here prior to the ball game and overnight, and we're getting a light rainfall at the moment. And a line base hit over the shift this time. Canseco makes the pickup. So Moss is on for the 2nd time, picking up his 1st hit of the game.
Pattern so far with Mike Moore. Most he's gone in his first 4 outings of the season, 7 innings. The other 3, 6 2/3, 6 5 1/3. And like Storm Davis a couple of years ago and Scott Sanderson last year, who became big winners under Dave Duncan here, they may have the same thoughts in mind for Mike Moore as Gallego comes in now, perhaps to buy a little time.
Yep.
Comes Tony.
La Russa's on his way to the mound. So Mattingly hit that liner toward the left field corner that Rickey Henderson caught. Moss with a line single into right. Those 2 line drives on top of the shaky 5th inning for Moore, and La Russa's out calling to the bullpen. So with Mel Hall a left-handed bat due and Noakes another left-handed bat to follow, the call goes to Young. That's it for Moore, and now we'll see what the Yankees do here in the 6th. Pitching change for Oakland. 5-3 the score. The Athletics out in front. Pitching change in the 6th inning. Mike Moore is gone after 5 1/3, and the left-hander Kurt Young gets the call. And Jesse Barfield, who's been a pretty good hitter against Young through the years, Jesse will pinch hit for Mel Hall. So Tony La Russa changes pitchers, and Barfield will be the pinch hitter for the Yankees. The numbers on Young: no record with a high earned run average so far.
And Stump Merrill making a decision. Do I take my chances now in the 6th and start pinch hitting right-handed bats for left-handers? He probably feels, hey, look, I'd rather take my chances now than have to take them in the 8th or 9th against Dennis Eckersley. This may be my best scoring opportunity against Young. Let's see how it pans out.
Well, Barfield would represent the tying run. Jesse gets time.
And the umpire to move.
Don Dinkinger to move out of his line of sight. Dinkinger with the left-hander on the mound. Dinkinger standing to the first base side of second base. Jesse felt he distracted him back there.
Well, they do that for a little self-preservation. Remember Larry McCoy in the stadium off Blauer's bat on that side of the bag where he got hit on the wrist and broke his hand.
A ball, no strikes. Jesse hit a home run last night. He has 2 on this road trip. And Young misses. 2 balls, no strikes. Further action in the Oakland bullpen.
See, here's where Jesse saw him with 1 out and the hole open the right side, set up to hit the right field. I don't believe that in this situation. Jesse Barfield's here up to 2 strikes now, not to get a single to right, but to try and put the ball in the seats. He's wielding a pretty good bat most of this season. Steve Chitrin, the right-hander, he was in the game yesterday. But I think it's one of those situations where you take situational hitting too far. So, well, I'll just try and get a first and third. You end up hitting the weak ground ball that might sneak through.
And he takes a strike on 3-0. So it's a 3-ball, 1-strike count. And especially against this guy, a fellow who Jesse has had some success against. He's hit a couple out against him.
Take your chances, look for a pitch to pull. Some say it's old-style baseball, and I think in a lot of ways there's nothing wrong with old-style baseball.
No.
Get up on the plate,
nothing wrong
get
with
the bat out in front, and try and get a tie. That's what a slugger's there to do, especially when you're hitting in this spot. You're starting to get down to the tail of the batting line.
Jesse pops it up foul, and it's going to be out of play.
It's a matter of trying to hit the ball hard somewhere, preferably in the air to your strong field, left field for Barfield, as opposed to trying to steer one the other way, which is a lot more difficult to do when you've got his power.
So a full count. Jesse may have helped Young a little bit on that 3-1 pitch. Was not the kind of 3-1 pitch that a hitter likes to see. Now he stays alive with a foul ball.
It sure is the tailing fastball going away from Jesse in pretty good spots, doesn't it?
Yep. The long ball has bothered Young throughout his career.
When you stand as far away from the plate as Barfield does, you're going to be most pitches you are unable to pull to start with. Look at how far off the plate he is. He feels comfortable there.
And he draws the walk. So Young walks the pinch hitter Barfield, setting up Yankee runners at first and second. And now Matt Noakes, who hit a home run, a line drive home run back in the 4th off Moore, will face the left-hander. 5-3, Yankees down by 2, but they have 2 men on and 1 out in the 6th. Noakes lifts it into right center. It's going to hang up for Dave Henderson in center field for the out.
Say one thing, did you notice all the electricity in the left field bleachers? I mean, the fans are getting a little bit out of hand out there. Ricky's, I don't know if they're putting a show for Rickey or what's going on out there.
Out in Rickey land, there's a sign out there. There he is.
Here comes La Russa with Mullins stepping in. He's got Chitrin ready. Like we've seen the binoculars, kind of semi-striptease dances out there, and I don't even know if some of them were semi. I'm not sure they were really semi-stripteases out there.
I was watching the pitching changes myself.
This was, you know, when there's a break in the action kind of stuff.
That's going to be it. Young is out of there. The call goes to the bullpen. Tony La Russa wants the right-hander Chitrin. We'll be back following this. This copyrighted telecast is authorized under rights granted by the New York Yankees solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the New York Yankees and Madison Square Garden Network is prohibited. Steve Chitrin is the new pitcher, a right-hander, the third Oakland pitcher of the day. Inslee Mullins the hitter, and the first pitch comes in high, ball one. 2 men on with 2 men out. Moss at second and Barfield at first, with the Yankees trailing by 2. Foul out of play, 1-1. Chitrin out of Stanford. They say he gets a lot of late movement on his fastball. Pretty good curve, and he'll drop down a little bit to right-handed hitters with that breaking ball.
I asked Tony Lucer about him. I said, like Steve Farr, sneaky fast. I said, well, his delivery fools people. He said he's got a curveball, which you just saw, that really backs right-handed hitters out. I said, it might be a bigger breaking ball than the man you just saw, Steve Farr. I said, but it just keeps biting.
2-1, and a liner into center field for a base hit. Moss being waved home by Showalter. Barfield goes to third, and Mullins comes through with an RBI single. So Mullins delivers against the right-hander to make it a 1-run ball game. The Yankees trail 5-4. 5th run batted in for Mullins this year. Big hit for him.
Yesterday and today, Mullins' approach to hitting and his setup to hitting was like we saw him last year when he came up, and he was hitting the ball so hard to right center field. We've seen him set up and hit the ball very hard yesterday. All of batting practice. Today, the opposite way, waiting just a little bit longer with a stiller bat.
Now Velarde. Late, strike one. Velarde 0 for 2 in his first start since April the 15th. Yankees led 1-0, trailed 3-1, 3-2, 5-2, 5-3, now 5-4. 0-2 the count on Velarde. Moss has scored the run. Sachs with a run batted in. Hall had one today. Noakes one on the home run, and Mullins one now. Ernest Riles has 3 runs batted in to lead Oakland. Fouled again. Harold Baines with an RBI, and Dave Henderson hit a home run to account for the other Oakland run.
I think it's going to be fun going up to Seattle for those 4 ball games to see Hensley Mullins in that ballpark. They have moved the fences back 15 to 18 feet all the way around, but it's still an outstanding hitter's park for a guy who can get the ball in the air, and that's what Mullins can do.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, he had a couple very good at bats against Welch last night. Comes through with an RBI single in the 6th.
He stayed with breaking balls much better yesterday, waiting a little longer against Welch.
Oh, look out. Velarde trying to wait. Waited long enough. 2-2. Chitrin had 27 saves last year in the minor leagues at Huntsville. Born in Tokyo. And strikes out Velarde looking. So the Yankees in the 6th settle for 1 run. 2 hits, 2 men left. Bottom of the 6th coming with the score 5-4 Oakland. Bottom of the 6th inning from Oakland Coliseum. The A's and the Yankees. Second game of a 2-game set, 5-4. Yankees down by a run, and Jose Canseco leads off against Rich Monteleone.
Yankees back in the game now, and Monteleone's job to shut him down in a hurry.
Ball 1. Leary threw over 100 pitches in 3 2/3 innings. Gave up 5 runs, 3 of which were earned. There's a strike. It's 1-1.
Stump Merrill now has the bullpen going full bore in case Monteleone gets in trouble, doesn't want to let the game get out of hand. Steve Farr, the right-hander, and Catteray, the left-hander. Excuse me, that's Habian, isn't it?
Yep,
John Habian.
Canseco takes a strike. Canseco was called out on strikes back in the third. Leary got him, one of 5 strikeouts. And a fastball that came back over the plate. Leary walked 7 in 3 2/3. Canseco leading off the 6th. Baines will be next, and then Steinbach. Two now. Canseco. A full count. Canseco homered last night, his 4th of the year. He had the bad back last year. Number of problems. Did not fare well in the final 2 months of the season.
Monteleone taking a lot of time, like he doesn't feel quite right.
And he misses low and away to Canseco. Well, he was careful with Canseco, who hit the home run off him in the 7th inning last night. As a result, Monteleone walks him to open the 6th this afternoon. Canseco among the top 5 in the league in walks, with Kevin Moss atop that list.
The first thing a potential base stealer does from the Oakland Ball Club when they get on first is check with the first base coach, Dave McKay, and all he does is review the moves of the pitchers, what to look for. They have a voluminous tape room here in Oakland. Moves of every pitcher isolated, catcher signals isolated from every camera view possible. And out comes Stump.
Now Harold Baines, the DH, the left-handed hitters do. Monteleone stopped, as you saw, before delivering one of the pitches to Canseco. He may not feel quite right, and with Baines coming up, Stump wants to come out, talk it over. He has an option in the bullpen. A couple of them out there, including the left-hander, and Stump's going to go that way. So after the leadoff walk to Canseco, that's it for Monteleone. Now the call goes to the bullpen, and we'll be back in a moment.
Man, did he have a jump? Holy cow.
Greg Canaray, the new pitcher for the Yankees, replacing Rich Monteleone. Baines fouled away the first pitch with Canseco breaking.
And he had a big jump.
Canaray, the former Oakland Athletic, on in relief, fly ball to the left, caught by Mullins. So Baines is out. 1 gone. Harry Steinbach's going to be the hitter. And as the Yankees move into Seattle for 4, we'll be with you Friday night and again Saturday night on MSG Network. Sunday's game is on ESPN, and then Monday evening, wrap-up game of the series against the Mariners on MSG Network.
Scott Sanderson Friday against Brian Holman. They'll see 4 right-handers up there: Holman, Bankhead, DeLucia, and Eric Hansen. Some
good arms.
Real quality starters up there. They're going to miss the big left-hander Randy Johnson. It'll be Sanderson, Carey, Island, and Leary for the Yankees.
Steinbach hitless today in 3 at-bats, and for the 3rd time in a row goes to right field. Barfield is out there now and makes the catch, giving Steinbach 0 for 4 and the 2nd out of this inning. Jesse pinch hit in the top half of the inning for Hall and stayed on to play right. Here's Mark McGwire. Strikeout in the second inning, and a walk in the third, and a walk in the fourth. Canseco is the base runner.
Dave McKay looks like a cricket down there. That stopwatch is going on and off. The move of Cataray and the release of this organization from Sandy Alderson down is extremely thorough. And over 162, you wonder, and you can't quantify how much of an edge it really gives them. Aside from having superior talent, that's part of it, but to get the superior talent, that little extra element, providing them the little extra edge.
Strike the count to McGuire. Step off move this time. Cataray can be tough on a base runner over there.
Well, his move's improved to first base, but still, unless he goes in the slide step, which Mark Connor doesn't like as much as Billy Connor did last year, he's got it stolen.
Runner
easily.
goes. And the
Easily.
throw way late.
See, he's got a high leg kick when he goes home, and there just may be something that Oakland team knows about his move when he goes home, because Canseco never missed a beat.
He is 6 of 6 stealing. So he's now in scoring position. McGuire now will be walked intentionally, with Riles due up next. So they will not pitch to McGuire.
Well, if there's a bigger all-round offensive force in the league than the man we saw earlier break Brock's record, Rickey Henderson, Tony La Russa thinks it's Jose Canseco. When they don't pitch to him, you see what he can do to you. Although this is a play that could backfire as you lose McGuire's bat. Maybe one of those times where La Russa says, hey, you know, maybe we should have had the stop sign on for Canseco.
So now with men at first and second, 2 outs, Ernest Riles, who's had a great day, 2 singles, a triple, and 3 runs batted in, will hit against the left-hander Cataray. Riles brought in to play a little third base in the absence of Carney Lansford. There's a strike.
Well, they're looking at
Vance
a
Law.
yeah.
And Law's on the disabled list. I saw Vance this morning. There's Carney Lansford. He was out taking a little infield.
Lansford saying he's coming along a lot quicker than even the medical people thought he would. Can't put a day when he returns, but he's progressing very well.
2 strikes the count.
Snowmobile accident. Well, he said, I was lucky. My knee got torn up. Didn't know if it would jeopardize my career. He said, but around the same day, a snowmobile, some young gal was killed. She ran into a barbed wire fence. He said, then I felt a little bit better about my condition, which was pretty bad.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Meanwhile, Vance Law is back after spending a year in Japan, relating that experience. And like so many players who go over there, it takes some getting used to. Popper short left, and Mullins get there, and he held on.
No.
Now he dropped the ball. He had it for a beat, but could not hang on. He had it in his glove. The run scores. Canseco crosses the plate. McGuire stopped at second, and Riles drives in his 4th run of the year. The run is charged, or 4th run of the day, his 6th run of the year. The run is charged to Monteleone.
And in every scoring inning that the Oakland Athletics have had thus far today, a walk has figured in, like a couple of the innings yesterday. A terrific attempt by Mullins, but when he started bouncing along, the ball dislodged.
Now Walt Weiss, a bounding ball to first from Moss, who makes the play unassisted. So a run scores, a couple walks, 1 intentional, 1 hit, 2 left. Bottom of the 6th is over, 6-4 Oakland. We're moving into the 7th inning from Oakland, 6-4. The Athletics are out in front. Mike Moore started, charged with 4 runs in 5 1/3. Kurt Young followed, and now Steve Chitrin Tim Leary started for the Yankees, gave up 5 runs, 3 earned, and 3 2/3. And Rich Monteleone charged with the other run on 2 hits in an inning and a third.
And for Ernest Riles, his 4 base hits, 4 RBIs are both career highs for a single game.
Espinosa, Alvaro swings and misses, strike 1.
That takes a lot of planning to make a move for 1 year when Lansford goes down and have a Riles, a bit player. Not today. Come in and do what he's done. Storm Davis, Sanderson last year. Got a rent-a-player system going on around here.
1 ball, 1 strike, and every player who comes through here thoroughly enjoys the time they spend with this organization.
And a lot of it has to do with Tony La Russa fitting him in all season long. Giving everybody off the bench a chance to contribute, keeping him fresh, using him in the right spots.
2-2. Ron Hasse felt that way here.
Yep.
Scott Sanderson felt that way here. Just about everybody.
They're hoping they can do it with Eric Schau, who's close to coming back and then pitching out of the bullpen.
Espinosa called out on strikes. Here's the strikeout pitch. Espinosa didn't like it. What do you think?
I don't know why. It was right down the middle. Espy now showing some signs of starting to settle back in. This road trip against the White Sox pitching, where he belongs. They're hoping he'll level off around the 280 area and just stay there.
Here's Roberto Kelly. There's a strike. Chitrin may have taken a little something off that one. We saw the breaking ball from him when he took over in the 6th. Fly ball back into left, sending Henderson back, but he has room. 2 outs.
Henderson forsaking the old snatch catch.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll save it for the last time in the World Series or something. He usually has that kind of flair.
Well, he became the all-time base stealer with a steal of 3rd in the 4th inning, number 939. Steve Sachs taking a ball. Sachs single homer run in the 5th inning, 1 out of 2 with a walk and a run scored. 1 ball, 1 strike. Reggie spent the day back there, hasn't he? Just to the right of the plate umpire, Durwood Merrill now.
I figured Jim Palmer, can Reggie be far behind?
You wouldn't be surprised at all, would you? Oh, look out, up and in, spins him out of there.
Reggie weighs 235 now, and he said he's in the weight room up to 4 hours a day. Bicycles. I don't know how many miles he said. I talked to him when he was on the cycle this morning. So he played about 218.
2-2 on Sachs. Yankees had a 1-0 lead until the 3rd when the Athletics scored 3. Oakland added 2 unearned runs in the 4th inning and another one in the 6th. 6-4 Oakland. Full count.
A lot of pitches thrown in this ball game. Most of them by starter for the Yankees, Tim Leary.
A chop left side. This is Weiss. And that takes care of the Yankees. Weiss to McGuire. 1-2-3, an easy inning for Chitrin. Bottom of the 7th coming, 6-4 Oakland. Bottom of the 7th inning, and the Yankees down by 2. Bring on their 4th pitcher of the afternoon, Steve Farr. Leary, Monteleone, Canaray, and Farr, and Mike Gallego leads off for Oakland. Right side, Barfield shaded him that way, and Jesse makes the catch. Sliding catch in the outfield for Jesse Barfield. 1 gone.
Wasn't easy, but he made it look that way, didn't he? Mm-hmm. Read the ball off the bat well. Sinking and slicing away. Steve Farr hasn't pitched since last Sunday in Chicago, and with the off day tomorrow, that would have been about 4, almost 5 days rest before the night game on Friday. So he may have requested a little bit of work to try and maintain some semblance of sharpness.
Rickey Henderson takes a ball. Henderson has been caught stealing twice today and stole the big one. 1-1 the count. And Lou Brock can go home. Lou stayed on hand waiting for Henderson to break the record, and now that's done. 2-1 the count.
Sign stealer on that scoreboard. Caught you.
Bouncer for Espinoza. Makes that a routine play. Speaking of the scoreboard, the Nobody Beats the Wiz out-of-town American League board. They're in the 12th inning at County Stadium. White Sox and the Brewers tied at 6. Everything else is later in the American League. And in the National League, 2 finals. Chicago over Houston 11-8. And St. Louis lost at home to Atlanta 5-4. The rest tonight.
You would think that Cubs team with all the right-handed power would not have much difficulty knocking left-handers out. They've struggled against them a little bit this year, of course. The whole team's in a slump. It may not just be left-handers. Right-handers may have done the same thing. Just count on Mark Grace having a big year for that ball club if all those right-handers knock all the left-handed pitchers out for him.
2-0 the count on Dave Henderson, but it's a long year and they've got a long way to go. And you know that
southern breeze starts blowing in Chicago.
They're going to score some runs. In the left center field, Mullins is there. So a 1-2-3 inning for Farr in the 7th. We're headed into the 8th from Oakland as the Yankees trail by 2. It's 6-4 Oakland. Back in Oakland, the bullpen is busy for the Oakland Athletics, and there's Dennis Eckersley. Moore started, Young, Chitron, and now Joe Klink comes on to start the 8th with Don Mattingly due to lead off. Mattingly, Moss, and Barfield doing the inning. Klink was in the ball game last night. Worked 1 inning. Mattingly 1 out of 3. An infield hit in the 1st. Don the DH in this game for the Yankees.
Arusa playing the percentages to the fullest. Mattingly and Moss coming up. 2 people that Merrill will not pinch hit for. Getting Klink out there to immediately try and silence what could be a big inning with the middle of the lineup up.
A ball and a strike. All 4 of the Yankee runs charged to the starting pitcher Mike Moore. That foul ball runs the count to 1-2. Klink, 29 years old. And he has Mattingly reaching. Mattingly really upset with himself.
He dropped down through the breaking ball. Don Mattingly couldn't find his release point after more of a 3-quarter delivery. A little change in the arm angle. And it gets him.
First out in the 8th. Here's Kevin Moss. Well, the Yankees down by just 2. Boy, it's been tough against Oakland. Worse than tough. No wins last year against this club. The shift is on again for Moss. 1 strike to count.
You wonder, and I doubt if it ever will, but you wonder if it will, if the inner frustrations of Don Mattingly over the past few years with what he thought was the culmination of 95 losses last year will ever explode. But he has got to be just terrible turmoil inside.
1 ball, 1 strike. One and 2. Eckersley continues to throw in the bullpen in the 8th.
Eight saves. Eckersley's walked with 7 since 1989 in about 150 innings.
Moss is out on strikes, and Klink dropped down again. Dropped that one low and outside. And Moss is the 2nd consecutive strikeout. So with 2 outs,
you could take the 2 replays of the strikeout of Mattingly and now Moss and superimpose them. There wouldn't be too much difference in where that pitch ended up.
And La Russa goes out to get Klink, who struck out the 2 left-handed hitters he faced. And now Eckersley will be brought on with Barfield due. 2/3 of an inning for Klink, 2 strikeouts, and now Eckersley. So the Oakland ace will get an appearance, and we'll be back following this. 36-year-old Dennis Eckersley on the mound. He's not accustomed to an earned run average anywhere near that total.
Well, the 2 home runs he has allowed in just 9 innings pitched have created the 4.00.
Last year, an earned run average of 0.61 for the season. And he faces Jesse Barfield, who walked as a pinch hitter in the 6th inning.
His first pitch is usually a strike right at the knees on the outside corner. There was a little slider.
Strike 1. Eckersley last year gave up 2 home runs in 73 1/3 innings. Already 2 this year. So he's having a tough year for Eckersley. Boy, what a story he's been since going to the bullpen. High drive, deep right center. Canseco back, and the ball is over his head. Bounces off the wall, and Dave Henderson will play it. It's a double for Barfield. So Eckersley surrenders a double. And now Matt Noakes will face him. Noakes, the left-handed bat.
Eckersley probably got the ball up in the strike zone more than he wanted to, or he wanted to get an up and in a Jesse Barfield blind spot.
Noakes takes a strike, so Matt represents the potential tying run. It's amazing how many games you'll watch, regardless of how lopsided the score might be early, that a team behind somewhere late in the game will manage to get the tying run of the plate. Fly ball. That ball slicing away from Henderson, but he's over there with a lot of room and makes the catch. No runs. 1 hit, 1 left. We'll go into the bottom of the 8th with the score 6-4 Oakland. Bottom of the 8th from Oakland. Jose Canseco stepping in. Canseco to be followed by Baines with Steve Farr on the mound. And the pitch is upstairs, ball 1. Lee Guterman is throwing in the bullpen right now. Dana Allison is throwing in the bullpen for Oakland. Canseco takes this one off the plate inside. 2-0. Here's Guterman. And Allison.
One of the 3 rookies down there for Tony La Russa. What experience this has been for them. As soon as Shaw and Todd Burns and Nelson get back, they'll be back in the minor leagues. It's quite an experience.
Foul ball, 2-1.
We've got people like Kurt Dressendorfer, who's going to get another start. And Todd Van Poppel, their #1 choice last year, waiting in the wings. Probably a year, maybe a couple years away, but one thing they did when they lost those free agents, they've gotten those draft choices in return, and they keep restocking their farm system.
3 balls and a strike. The count to Canseco as Farr, the 4th Yankee pitcher, Shows him a strike to run the count to 3-2.
This is a team that's getting some age on it. Eckersley, late 30s, Honeycutt, Stewart, Welch, mid-30s or beyond.
Oh, he hit the ball hard. One hop and to the wall. A low line drive. He's going to dig for 2, and the throw is not in time. Canseco in with a double, his 6th two-base hit of the year.
The change in Steve Farr's delivery fooled Canseco absolutely not at all. Dropped down on him. May not have gotten a pitch in the place he wanted to. Not right down the middle, but dropping down didn't make Canseco blink at all.
And Stump Merrill is out of the dugout. Harold Baines, the DH, is due. Guterman is in the bullpen along with Eric Plunk. And that's going to be it. So Guterman will get a call. So Farr pitches an inning plus and gives up 1 hit.
10th pitcher coming in as Farr leads.
So Guterman is the new hurler. 6-4 Oakland back following this. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Yankees are down by 2 runs, 6-4. Canseco has opened the Oakland 8th with a double. Harold Baines is due, but Lance Blankenship has emerged as Lee Guterman has been brought on by Stump Merrill. Guterman making his 7th appearance. And Blankenship will be the pinch hitter against him.
LaRussa trying to get a guy up at the plate who's more likely to hit the opposite way. Doubt if he's going to bunt, but you never know. You've got to pay very close attention to Canseco with that speed, Guterman's long delivery, and also the toss back to the pitcher from Matt Noakes. Canseco a couple of years ago went to third 5 or 6 times on the lob back from the catcher to the pitcher.
Espinosa trying to keep him close.
I don't think there's any question that Jose Canseco learned a lot about base stealing, especially stealing third, by watching Rickey Henderson and talking to him. You can see by the kind of lead he gets as he keeps his momentum going toward third base and increasing it with each little stunner step.
Blankenship shows the bunt, takes the pitch down, ball 1.
I think that was a decoy through Latchman. They're going to take a pitch.
Just to see the infield. Huh?
What kind of rotation they've got going, and figuring that in most cases, first pitches are balls in a potential bunt situation.
Steinbach on deck. Blankenship pinch hitting. Swings away, ground ball to short. Canseco going to third, and Espinosa cannot handle it.
Canseco made that play by getting a good jump and reading the ball off the bat on the ball to the left side, where they say you should hold up, but with his quickness and his speed and his secondary lead, he takes off, may have shielded it, and Espinosa in his rush to get it. He was trying to get to the ball in a hurry, so he might have a play on Canseco, and the Yankees are in big trouble again.
Second error of the game charged to Espinosa. His 6th of the year.
One of those balls that he overcharged. He wasn't going to get Canseco, but he should have gotten Blankenship. And by rushing it, he lost it.
Now, with men at first and third, Steinbach is the hitter. The infield is in. Steinbach is 0 for 4 in this game, 3 fly balls to right.
With no outs, the job of the runner at third base is not to give himself up completely. The infield in, you kind of go off the bag as far as the third baseman allows you when the ball's hit, and then trying to get back to prevent the double play. Force the infielders to commit themselves.
Liner into right. Barfield made the catch. He is out, and the runners will hold at first and third. Jesse Barfield, who made a fine sliding catch on Gallego in the 7th, comes up with a heck of a catch here as the runners hold at first and third.
Tony La Russa popped out of the dugout, and I think He got a signal from McKay at third and maybe the first base runner, Blankenship, as to whether or not Jesse caught it. And he did. A great play. You know, there was a spot on that catch that was blocked away from the umpires, which we see on this replay. A legitimate catch and a great one by Jesse Barfield.
That's the first out in the 8th, bringing up Mark McGuire. And now with men at first and third, the Yankees on the infield will hope for the double play ball. Instead, a towering fly ball deep to left center, and Mullins makes the catch on the track as Canseco tags and scores.
I don't care what that guy hits for average, talking about McGuire. He knows how to hit with that man on third base and on second also. There's an idea what to look for and what to do with it. And with that natural uppercut, he usually gets the ball in the air a long ways.
His first run batted in this game is 6th of the year.
Just about down the middle of the plate.
And here's Ernest Riles, who is 4 for 4. And that is best day ever at the plate in the major leagues. 4 runs batted in, 4 hits. 1 ball, no strikes, the count. 7-4 Oakland. One and one. Canseco opened the inning with a double and has scored. There goes a man off first. The pitch is a ball and the throw is not in time.
I mean, like Cataray when Canseco scored earlier, Guterman did not even give the base runner a look. And Matthew Noakes, who threw out Henderson in the first inning, I mean, he's got 4 or 5 steps before the ball was even out of the hand of Lee Guterman. And that is one of those unfair statistics in these sheets that we get every day, when they say the catcher threw out just 20% of opposing base runners. Well, when you look at Cataray and Guterman today, there's no chance for Johnny Bench to throw those guys out.
Riles takes ball 3, 3-1, so Blankenship has a steal.
Of course, John doesn't have the arm strength to get a few years back, so he'd probably have trouble anyway. Bench getting ready for the senior tour, not too many years down the road, where he probably can compete as John Brody does and Ralph Terry.
Foul ball. So it's a full count here on Riles. Well, the Yankees down by 3, have 1 shot left in the 9th. They have dropped 15 consecutive games to Oakland. In danger of number 16.
Going up to see Team Streak in the Pacific Northwest.
That's right. Sachs gloves it and got it away in time to get Riles and retire Oakland in the 8th. But they pick up a run, a hit, an error, and a man left. Through 8, 7-4 Oakland. Yankees down by 3 as this game swings into the 9th inning. They have a big mountain to climb facing Dennis Eckersley if the Yankees are to avoid another loss to Oakland.
And Hensley Mullins, not necessarily a baptism under fire. He's been around before, but he is seeing some of the top pitchers in the American League on this road swing.
Mullins single homer run in the 6th inning. Eckersley starts him with a strike.
Remember in '89 during the league championship series against Toronto, when after Eckersley threw the last pitch, Cito Gaston, the manager of Toronto, challenged him and said he had sandpaper and issued a formal protest with the league president, Dr. Bobby Brown, and discarded a piece of sandpaper. Then he scuffs the baseball.
And Mullins is quick work for Eckersley. 3 pitches and he's out of there.
I'll tell you, that little tight slider doesn't have a big break, but it's always in the almost always in the perfect spot. And the spin is so tight, the hitter can't see what it is.
Well, Velarde's going to be lifted, and Jim Lawrence will hit for him. Last year, 48 saves. He had more saves than hits allowed. And in fact, that's been the case the last 2 years for Eckersley. He throws Lawrence a strike. There's 41 hits allowed last year. The year before, 33 saves and 32 hits given up by Eckersley.
And for whom do you think the straight down the middle writer Michael Kay is pulling for here, Lawrence or Eckersley? For those of you who missed it in the pregame bit, the old pie in the face, Lawrence to Michael Kay of the Daily News.
All in good, clean fun. A shot to center. Henderson back for this one. 2 gone.
He never looks sensational, Dave Henderson, but those who see him every day consider him as good an all-round center fielder, especially in pressure situations, as anybody in the American League. Dave Henderson.
2 outs, base is empty. And Alvaro Espinoza, who hasn't had an especially good day, 0 for 2 at the plate, but 2 errors afield, and he takes a strike.
How can any pitcher be that fine pitch after pitch? Usually, and this is not a pressure situation, but so many times the pressure's been on Eckersley, and he's almost flawless with his control.
He's ahead of Espinoza, 2 strikes. Eckersley, born in Oakland, but has lived in Boston all these years. A ball, 2 strikes. Came up with the Indians and went to Boston in '78. Had a stop in Chicago with the Cubs, and then to Oakland in '87. Soft grounder to third. Riles, who's had a good day, ends it with the throw to first. Riles to McGuire, and the Yankees go down easily in the 9th inning. 1-2-3, 7-4 the final, as the Oakland Athletics have again beaten the Yankees. That's 16 consecutive games the Yankees have dropped to Oakland. And our New York Times play of the game, Rickey Henderson, stolen base in the 4th inning. He swiped third. That's number 939, the all-time stolen base record. Today's play of the game, sponsored by the New York Times. 7-4 the final. We'll be right back in a moment. Well, the Yankees beaten this afternoon by the Oakland Athletics 7-4. The road trip now stands at 1-4 for the Yankees, dropping 2 games here to the Oakland Ball Club. Beaten last night 7-3, and this final this afternoon, Mike Moore is going to get the win, and Tim Leary suffers the loss in this contest. The Yankees, of course, hoping for better things on the West Coast, and now they'll head to Seattle for 4 and then into California for 2 against the Angels. The big story, Rickey Henderson here this afternoon, and he finally becomes the all-time stolen base record holder.
You know, and I think to the 36,000 plus fans who came here, the Oakland victory might have been an anticlimax. Not to Stump Merrill, whose team has struggled against these Oakland Ball Club, and doing right now, mic'd up and very considerate to come over with all the pressures on him for press conference, Rickey Henderson. Rickey, Dwayne Statz and Tony Kubek, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Rickey, congratulations on what must have been. Lou Brock said he thought you might have something close to an out-of-body experience. What was it like the moment you knew you were safe and had the stolen base?
Oh, it was a tremendous feeling. You know, it's a great feeling. I think, you know, based on I really wanted to get it over with, because I think I was beginning to put a lot of pressure on myself and really wasn't concentrating on what I was doing. I wasn't really getting that outstanding jump. I think Lou took me in the runaway and told me what I was doing. I wasn't getting the push-off like I was supposed to get. You
got a great jump, though, on the steal of third, didn't you?
I got a pretty good jump at that.
Rickey, we want your words. You have a monitor, I think. Talk us through this.
I think, you know, I was just trying to read something, and you know, I thought he was going to throw some breaking ball at that time, and you know, I said I got to pick him well, get a good jump, and you know, just go for it. So it happened, you know, I became safe.
When your hand hit the third base bag, we can see the expression. Tell us your feelings.
when my hand hit the bag, it's just like a dream come true. You work so hard for it, and you put so much work into it, and then when I touched that base, all the work and the dedication just paid off right there.
Your mom came down. You paid tribute to Tom Trebelhorn, who you played for. Billy Martin, a very emotional moment, I'm sure, in your mind, and your mom, and then Lou came out. A little bit about Billy Martin.
Billy Martin, he just was an outstanding man to me. He was a great manager. He taught me a lot. I think he the one made me believe in that I can go out there and break the records. I think that in '82 when we went to spring training, he told me that first day in spring training we're going to break the record. And I said there's 118 bases. I had never got that far. So he said, but this is the year we're going to break it. And so happy we went out and set 130. So Billy Martin just was behind me. He showed me the rope, and he put all his heart behind me. He was one of them type of a manager, just was a father. I think I was a son to him.
Ricky, Henry Aaron said when he broke the home run record that there was no greater feeling than having his teammates genuinely excited over something he had done, almost as if that record would be their record as well. Did you get that kind of feeling?
Yeah, I got that feeling. I think the team deserved the record as well as I deserve the record. I'm out here playing for the team, not just for an individual. We all set goals and try to achieve them goals, but first the team come first, and you try to go out there and win ball game with the team.
Well, Ricky, from us here in the booth, congratulations. You are the greatest stolen base king of all time now.
Thank you very much.
And we appreciate your time.
All right.
So Rickey Henderson, this afternoon, a steal of third, 9:39 for his career. We'll be back in a moment.